it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great.
Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Welcome to Hour 2, Toker Talk Radio, live from legal Potland, Oregon. In our first hour, we got to speak with Chief Greenbud, our good friend from Nashville, Tennessee. He's got a new album out, Chief Greenbud 4. And in our next break, we'll play another exclusive track heard first and only right here on 420 Radio. The No Song is coming up in our next break, so stay tuned for that. Chief Greenbud 4 available now at chiefgreenbud.com. Head out to the website today. Let him know that you heard it on 420 Radio and download that album. And whatever he's charging for it, it's worth it because it's good stuff. And you help to support a guy who supports the marijuana movement, right? Now that we've got this green rush happening, there's a lot of people who are jumping in this for the money. And, God bless them. That's great. That's America. It's capitalism. Go for it, right? And probably good for consumers. More people in it, the more that we get professional business people in it and shape the market a little bit and get a little more professional and efficient. Great. More access for consumers. Great. Lower prices. Great. Legal jobs for people. Great. Love it all, right? But I think there can be a deficit on the part of some of the people getting in the business for the money to recognize that this isn't just like any other business. Nor should it be. That there is a history to this, and there's a culture to this, and there's many, people that have given their lives for this and given their freedom for this. And so that's where I appreciate guys like Chief Greenbud, because he's lived the life, he's walked the walk and talked the talk and knows what we've been through. So I always promote him every chance I get whenever somebody's looking for a good musical act for these different events. I'm always suggesting Chief Greenbud because he's the kind of guy that gives back to the normal chapters, to the SSDP folks, to the Hempfest organizers. And that's something I think that is we're going to have to, as a culture, to differentiate and to recognize the businesses that understand us. I don't know how that happens. I mean, Normal's trying to do their thing with the Normal business partners, and other groups have their kind of thing to do that as well. But I think we as consumers can just do it individually by, where we spend our money, right? Like, I'm in Portland, Oregon. There's a lot of glass shops. I could go just about anywhere to get glass. But I prefer to go over to Mellow Mood out over on like Hawthorne and 42nd. That's kind of across town for me, but I prefer to go there because I know they give back, that they contribute to the community, right? And so we can do that with our dollars. But before we go to this break, in that Chief Greenbud tune we played in hour 1, and you can catch the replay 6 o'clock, or you can download it on our podcast, the Russ Belville Show podcast. But that tune, I Bake, where he has that just perfect lyric that he said is his favorite lyric that he's ever written, which is, I can't wait for the day when my state says it's okay, and I won't waste a single minute being afraid that I bake. right? And I had an experience the other day that kind of crystallized that for me. Okay. And it was, there's a electrical junction box thing out on the wall outside that the city inspector had determined was no good. It melted something was wrong. I don't know. I don't care. But it involved them having to come in and inspect and had the guy from the electric company coming in to replace the dang thing. And then the city inspector coming in. Did he do a good job? Is it up to code? Whatever, right? And in both occasions where I had these different people, one from a company, one from the government, over to Rolla J Studios, coming downstairs and into the storage room where the junction box is, I made it a point to be smoking weed. I wasn't going to smoke weed, but oh shit, somebody's here. I'm going to smoke some weed because I can. And I didn't have to ever even have that slightest sliver of paranoid fear. Oh, what are they installing in the electrical box? Are they going to meter me? They're going to check me out? What are they doing? Are they going to report back? Have they got some program where they're going to narc on people? What's going to happen? None of that. I could just smoke weed. Although it's like you'd expect it when you come down to Rolla J Studios, what with all the Cannabis Cup posters and normal posters and the pot leaves everywhere. It's not like it's a shock or a surprise. And it's not like people coming over in the past here in Multnomah County, Portland, Oregon, would have been any problem either. But it is different. It does change your perspective. It does give you a load off your mind, an extra level of chill, knowing that what you're doing in your house is absolutely 100% illegal and nobody can do a thing about it.
Elitist. Just like any other dishwashing, burger-flipping, public school-educated, self-employed, bar band, musician, National Guardsman, he's Radical Russ.
Well, in other news coming out here from Portland, Oregon on Sunday, Bernie Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont, running for the Democratic presidential nomination, gave his speech, his largest speech to date in terms of crowd size. 28,000 people crowded in the Moda Center to hear Bernie Sanders. That might be more than the Blazers get for home games next year. We'll talk more about that and the rest of the news of the day, but stay tuned. Brand new Chief Greenbud song is next after the ad break.
.420 Radio, your ticket to the High Times Cannabis Cups.
420 Radio is brought to you by Sacred Serum, who is focused on creating elegant and sophisticated cannabis solutions through its line of dispensers and vaporizers that come preloaded with the world's finest cannabis concentrate. Sacred Serum's concentrate is made on pharmaceutical-grade supercritical CO2 extraction machines that use absolutely no butane or other toxic chemicals. The Vesica, the company's innovative new way to dab and frost, is now available in dispensaries across California. Sacred Serum, elegance and sophistication concentrated.
Marijuana may be legal in some states, but it is still very difficult to advertise. Legal marijuana states have strict guidelines about where marijuana ads may be placed. 420 Radio provides advertisers a marijuana-related on-demand platform skewed toward older adults that meets Colorado and other legal states' advertising restrictions. Visit 420radio.org/advertise to learn how you can place web ads that are immune to ad block software and audio ads heard live on 420 Radio and stored permanently in the enormously popular Russ Belville Show podcast. 420 Radio is heard by legions of dedicated fans who make up the activist leadership and entrepreneurial base of serious marijuana law reformers. Our audience is older, better educated, and more financially secure than most marijuana-related media can boast. Learn more at 420radio.org/advertise.
The Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference is happening September 12th and 13th at the Hilton in downtown Portland. Hi, I'm Alex Rogers, and I hope you'll take advantage of this amazing opportunity to learn the latest business and legal information concerning cannabis commerce in Oregon in 2015 and beyond. Check out OMMBC.com right now for early bird pricing because we're likely to sell out. That's OMMBC.com, the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference.
I got no bowl, I got no stash, I got no job, so I ain't got no cash. But I really, 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 really wanna get high. I got no weed, I got no bone, I got no buzz. You know it's been too long and I really, 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 really wanna get high. No one knows no like I know knows. I've known knows all of my life. I know if I catch a break, well even if it shake, I know I'd be happy, at least for the night. I've got no phone, I got no wheels, I got no one I know who deals, but I really, 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 really wanna get high. I know I'd be happy, at least for the night. Well, I won't beg, but if you buy, I'll be your best friend. And I know you'll know why, 'cause I really, 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 really wanna get high. Well, I'm not above sponging it or bumming it, pimping out my sister for a little bit of swag. It's a drag when there's nothing in the bottom of your bag. What? How does a brother get a buzz just because I'm a little light? Don't make it right. Do I have to go and spend another weedless night? I got no bowl, I got no stash, I got no job, man. I ain't got no cash, but I really, 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 really wanna get high.
That's music from Chief Greenbud 4, the latest album. That's the No Song. and he really wants to get high. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio. I'm Radical Russ Belville, coming to you from legal Potland, Oregon, and I was just talking about my flaunting of legality with the city of Portland official in my home, smoking weed just because I can, right? That's one of the ways where it being legal, and you know, because here in Portland, it's been kind of legal, right? It's been like almost unheard of that you could get arrested. And again, padding this with the understanding that I'm a white guy, middle-aged, you know, middle class. So yes, totally understood. Even with that though, marijuana crimes are not really a high enforcement policy of the Portland Police Bureau. They got bigger fish to fry, right? But even now that it's legal, even in one of the most liberal pot places there's many differences now in that feeling. And one was that feeling of, hey, you can have inspectors over to the house and not have to hide the weed, right? It's not a problem. Another feeling is just being out on your back porch on a nice night, smoking a joint to relax, like you'd drink a glass of wine. Or having the front windows open. Not to the point where everyone can see you puffing away, but, you know, my house is situated in such a way you wouldn't be able to really see much looking in. But just to even have the curtains open to be able to look out. You know, just these little things that have changed. But there's still a lot of things that haven't changed. Here we are in legal Potland, Oregon. And I was having a webcam here in the studio. If I got guests on the show, I got to ask them if they want to be on camera, and people have to worry about being on camera because they can still lose their job. There can still be repercussions from being known as a cannabis consumer. So that's part of what I get into here on 420 Radio and in my work with Portland Normal. And there's an aspect of it, you know, sometimes people don't see this like I see it. And maybe there's, you know, that privilege that I was talking about earlier, right? I mean, really, I'm an able-bodied, cisgendered, heterosexual, white, married, middle-class, middle-aged guy, right? I'm a Bible short of perfect privilege, okay? So perhaps when I experience the discrimination and oppression that happens because of my status as a cannabis consumer, I'm attuned to it because it's the only oppression I face. Maybe it's something I noticed because other people do notice the bigger, greater oppressions that are out there, and I don't mean to diminish them in any way. But maybe that's why I do notice that. And maybe that attunes to why the minority communities have been so reticent up until lately to be involved in the marijuana movement because, you know, bigger fish to fry, and maybe it doesn't even register as that being an important thing to have to deal with. So however it's come about, that's how I perceive these issues. And to be fair, the other area in which I'm not privileged, the being an atheist part, right? When you see public polling that shows people would be more likely to vote for what, and like atheist is always like at the bottom, you know, like with child molester and, you know, mass murderers, right? We're always down there at that range. So I notice those kind of oppressions and encroachments much more than some people do as well, right? So anyway, the grander point of this rant being that it's important that we continue to fight for these rights and recognize what they are, what they mean, not to hold them up as being equal or similar to the suffering of others, but to understand that it is still a problem that needs to be solved. And it being just a smaller problem doesn't mean that it shouldn't be solved. By contrast, I would say that a smaller problem is one that should be solved. Let's get that little thing out of the way. There's really nothing to it, right? We all agree that weed's less harmful than alcohol, right? We've seen 4 states now legalized. They haven't, you know, fallen into the ocean and exploded in volcanic fury and had pot zombies roaming the streets, right? It's turned out okay, right? Can we just be done with it now? Can we just end the federal prohibition and let the states legalize as they see fit? Get on with more pressing issues?
Illegal!
Not for much longer. Really, sometimes that's how I feel. It's like, what? You want me to try to solve global warming, race relations, police brutality, education system, healthcare? And we can't even get something like weed legalization nationwide yet, right? That should be so easily done. Let's get the little accomplishment under our belt. Maybe we move on to these big things, right? Plus, solving the weed legalization actually contributes to most of those things.
420 Radio, turning red states and blue states green. The fingerboard extension has fretted instruments to enhance your creativity. It has new and used guitars and banjos from beginning to high class. The fingerboard extension has National Resophonic, Husson Dalton, Larrabee, Heritage and Recording King guitars, and Mike Ramsey, Wildwood, Gold Tone, and Recording King banjos. The fingerboard extension also has drum stuff, used gear, and parts. Stop by the Fingerboard Extension, downtown Corvallis, Oregon at 120 Northwest 2nd, or check out the inventory on the web at fingerboardextension.com and reverb.com.
There's so much I worry about as a mom. Stephen Harper thinks that organized crime should continue to profit from marijuana prohibition. Imagine regulating marijuana like alcohol and cigarettes with a strong and clear educational message, making it more difficult for my kids and your kids to access. Drug dealers don't ask for ID. Stephen Harper does not have the kind of judgment we need to protect our children, authorized by the Normal Women's Alliance of Canada.
Oregon has joined Washington and Colorado in legalizing marijuana. We're Portland Normal, the national organization for the reform of marijuana laws chapter in Portland, Oregon. Join us as we celebrate the launch of an exciting new era in marijuana freedom in Oregon. Our job has just begun. Powerful interests want to white out the most important portions of Oregon's legalization law. By joining Portland Normal, you add your voice to the thousands who voted for Measure 91 and want it to be implemented as written. The people have spoken. Now it is time for the legislature to obey the will of the people. Find out more about Portland Normal at portlandnormal.org. Attend our monthly membership meetings on the fourth Saturday of the month. See our website for more details. Portland Normal, ensuring responsible adult marijuana consumers are afforded the same rights, privileges, and responsibilities as beer drinkers. This is Radical Russ encouraging you to take a look at the Weed Blog every day. Johnny Green and the staff at the Weed Blog are on top of all the latest developments in the fight to end marijuana prohibition nationwide. You can even get the Weed Blog on your smartphone by installing the Weed Blog app for iPhone and Android. If it's about weed, it's on the Weed Blog, including my original writing. So don't delay. Read the Weed Blog today.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Electric Tuesday, featuring the latest in electronic dance music and other cutting-edge genres. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
All right, time for some Daily Toker Tunes, and a reminder that tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, we've got Electric Bob's Boogaloo, 1 hour of a non-stop electronic music jam. You want to check that out. New producers, new DJs, new record labels, all the time popping up on Electric Bob's Boogaloo. We go to our phone lines where Electric Bob is waiting for us. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. We heard from Chief Greenbud earlier today, so it's been a music-heavy couple of hours, and we're just looking forward to more of it.
Right, exactly.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. MPP, I'm pretty sure they got about 10K more signatures this week.
Yeah, they were 50,000 the last I heard?
Yeah, in 10 weeks.
Wow. So they doubled it in 1 week? They got 10,000 in 1 week?
Well, I'm thinking. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, they're just, it costs money to raise signatures on a campaign. Yeah. If you got the money and the professionals to do it, you can get something on the ballot. And Last poll I saw showed Arizona with 53% support, so it can happen.
Yeah, it's gaining momentum. I was just curious, how many? What do you remember the numbers 10 weeks in for Oregon?
Oh, for signature gathering? No, I have no idea what they were.
Okay.
We came in pretty good. What was good about ours is our signature validity rate was pretty high. I think it was like approaching 70%.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
So the tune today, this is he's a producer out of Louisiana. He's a Spam Kid. This is kind of like, it's a really bassy, high energy, high BPM tune.
Okay. What's the guy's name?
Spam M. It's the tune Only Me.
Ah, okay. That means I've got the wrong tune loaded up here. I got to make sure I got the right stuff. Now, is this part of your the record label, or whose label is this on?
Yes, this is part of my record label, Broken Souls. You can find us at soundcloud.com/broken SOLES.
Broken Souls, SOLES, like the soles on your shoes. All right. Broken Souls Records and Spam M. Like
Spam M.
Like spam, baked beans, eggs, spam, and spam.
Maybe you're supposed to shout the M at the end.
Spam M!
Spam!
Maybe it's a command. Spam them, right? Yeah. Like to send them unsolicited emails. I don't know. But the tune is called Only Me. It's on Broken Souls Records. And you got what's coming up on the Boogaloo tonight?
I'm uploading a mix right now, but I'm too stoned and forgot which one it was.
At least you're honest. All right, you have passed the 420 radio drug test. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to it. This is Spam M or Spam M with Only Me on Broken Souls Records. Check out Electric Bob's Boogaloo tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Replays happening at 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights as part of our 6-hour music block on 420radio.org.
Fools run, I get fools done. Got 10 fingers, but only use one. I run up like machine gun, kill you with a black skeleton, one in your belly.
This is me, and if you don't like me, well, that's bad news, because this is the only me there is.
Go in this nigga pocket. Rob him while his friends watch it. The hoes clocking.
This is the only me there is.
Here comes respect.
Look! Condemn, I don't give a damn. This is me, and if you don't like me, well, that's bad news.
That's that nigga with the fake. Wow! Why you punch me in my face? Stay in your place. Play your position. Here come my intuition. Go in this nigga pocket. Rob him while his friends watch.
This is the only me there is.
Rob him while his friends watch. Rob him while his friends watch. Rob. One in your belly, niggas belly, then take your belly. Go in this nigga pocket. Rob him while his friends watch.
.420 Radio. Tune in, turn on, get highly educated. Get.Buzz. .Buzz is the internet platform that fuels community interest, excitement, and new experiences. .Buzz is the premier online destination for internet users seeking the latest news on a variety of topics. .Buzz appeals to groups active in blogging, communications, journalism, advertising, and marketing. .Buzz offers registrants a stronger alternative to the shrinking namespace of existing top-level domain names, such as .com, .net, and .org. Get your name now at get.buzz. Hey everybody, it's Radical Russ here from 420 Radio, inviting you to be like me and get your ink done at Lucky Horseshoe Tattoo, Fort Worth's most female-friendly, clean, sterile, awesome tattoo shop. Thomas and his crew are true artists who can design you a custom piece or use a design you bring in. Lucky Horseshoe Tattoo also offers all styles of tattooing as well as piercings and all-around fun. In the DFW area, stop by Lucky Horseshoe Tattoo and tell them Radical Russ sent you. Trust me, it'll feel awesome. You're listening to 420 Radio. Listen Sundays at 8 p.m. Pacific for Stoner Jesus, podcasting at stonerjesus.net. One of the net's most popular marijuana comedy shows is very politically incorrect and certainly not safe for work, but also is absolutely hilarious. Check our online listings for Stoner Jesus with Stoner Jesus from stonerjesus.net. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out lushledlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you.
That's music from Kuma with Beneath the Flowers. I've been Beneath the Flowers a few times. I'm sure a few of our listeners have as well. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio. Our phone lines are open at 84-420 Radio. That's toll free, 844-207-2346. Let's go to the phone lines right now where 951 area code. You're on the air with Toker Talk Radio. What's up?
How you doing, Russ? This is Mike from the Human Solution.
All right. We've got our Human Solution update. Love having you calling in. Thanks, Mike. It's great news with Jeff Pazanski getting out of prison in Missouri for sure.
That's certainly puts icing on the cake, doesn't it?
Yes, it's nice to finally have something good to say, but I'm sure there's still plenty of other people that need our support. What can you tell us? What's our latest update?
Well, it's a nice picture of Adela Falk with Jeff Pazanski, and that he'll be getting out probably within 25 days at the most. As far as the lawsuits going on in Santa Ana with Matt Pappas and the botched Santa Ana police raid where they were eating edibles, the 14 defendants yesterday were arraigned in Santa Ana court. And after arraignment was all postponed till October 15th, the defendants all got together, and I believe they're all bringing lawsuit against the city of Santa Ana.
That's good news for that. And these are the cops that are trying to hide that video, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard when it's in plain sight and gone viral, but yeah, that's the attempt.
Well, at least trying to take it out of discussion in the courtroom, which could have the intent of, lessening their punishment or making them seem not to be the jerks that they were, mistreating disabled people and just misbehaving, being very unprofessional.
Well, we'll see what happens. I guess Thursday they'll be arguing it in court with the lawsuit of the Officers Union of Santa Ana suing the own police department that's the internal investigation to suppress this video so they don't get thrown out.
So yeah, we haven't had word on that yet then, right?
No, I believe the ruling will come this coming Thursday on that in Santa Ana.
How about the case of Shauna Banda out there in Kansas? What's up with that?
Well, I think at the end of the month, I'm not sure the exact date yet, but it's coming up, and we've been trying to get media out with all the different groups to keep it in their mind about Shauna, so when it happens, everybody that can do anything, it's the point of the spear, so to speak, and I think America is with Shauna right now.
Yeah, for folks that may not know, she's the woman in Garden City, Kansas, using cannabis oil to treat her Crohn's disease. Her 11-year-old son mentions that in a DARE class, and the next thing you know, the cops are there at her house, seizing her medicine, taking her kid, and now she's fighting back. So we want to help her and all the others out there. Are there other stories, other updates we need to know about?
Well, there's plenty of things that are always happening. We can go to thsintl.org and look up on our news or what's coming up in the calendar, or if you'd like to be a member, there's places to join, or if you want to donate, that's fine too. And a good thing about Shauna's case coming up is she has the same lawyer as Sarah Swain, who just argued for an acquittal in the Kyler character case in Wichita, Kansas. And he was acquitted of felony murder.
Yes, that was another good news piece that you updated us on. And that's thank you for your call-ins and keeping up the good work here with the Human Solution International. You can find him at thsintl.org, thehumansolutioninternational.org. And Mike, thanks for calling in again.
All right, so you have a good day.
All right, you too. So Human Solution is just one of many great groups out there, and there's so many different aspects now to marijuana advocacy to get involved with. If you're into the business side of things, there's the Marijuana Business Association you can look at. There's other groups. There's Women Grow that you can get involved with. Other women's groups include Normal Women's Alliance, is still out there in many local chapters. If you're a student, look up Students for Sensible Drug Policy, or possibly a Normal chapter on your college campus. There's Normal chapters all around the country, and if there's not one, you can start one. People have this misconception that Normal decides where it's going to put a chapter. No, people at a place decide they're going to be a Normal chapter. So if you want to form Normal North Dakota, do it. You only need 5 people. You only need 5 people to form a nonprofit organization and start your own Normal chapter. And if doing the state Normal chapter seems too big, God, it seemed that way to me, start a city Normal chapter. Just start one for your city and see what you can do from that. But you'll be surprised once you get involved with other people in these organizations, Normal and others. Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, if you're a former prosecutor, a prison guard, a judge, a cop, think about joining Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. There's a lot of groups out there. If you're a policy get on the policy angle of this, get into Marijuana Policy Project. If your goals are broader for drug policy reform, think about Drug Policy Alliance. There's the Forfeiture Endangers American Rights. If you're specific on the police misconduct and civil asset forfeiture, there's the Family what is it? I always forget the name of her group. It's the Families in Action. No, that's not the name of the group. Family Law Alliance. Family Law and Cannabis Alliance, I think. FLCA. I think I got it. Family Law and Cannabis Alliance. Check them out if you're interested in how the drug laws affect people when it comes to their parental rights, to CPS cases. There's so many angles out there now. You can join Vote Hemp or the Hemp Industries Association if you're interested in the industrial hemp angles. There's medical orgs, Americans for Safe Access. There's local medical groups that form in the medical marijuana states. There's no excuse for not getting involved with one of these groups. You can do it. There's a lot of them that can benefit from your work online that can use help that way. There's all sorts of things that can be done, but I always think it can be done better if we band together and do it together and share some of the load. And there's lots of different angles now, lots of different things we can do. All right, let me get back to this case from Texas. We're talking about Harris County, Texas, where there's been a number of cases, and they're not all Harris County, but in my behind the headlines today, I pulled up 4 different cases, the latest being here June 2015, of women being pulled over by cops for, pretext traffic stops, claiming to smell weed, and then sexually assaulting these women. They call in a female trooper. 2 of these 4 cases, it was the same female trooper. They slap on a pair of gloves and they either pull the pants down of these women or they reach into their pants while they're on the side of the road, in the headlights or in broad daylight, on the dash cam where people can see them, reach into their pants, violate these women, all because of the assumption, the allegation that they may have secreted some weed up there. And it always leads me to ask, how much weed do you think they're hiding up there? It's not like, if you had like a big bag of weed and the cops pulled you over and suddenly you had to shove it in your vagina. Weed baggies are not exactly the most, ergonomically designed such instrument. I'm guessing, since I have no vagina, but I'm just guessing. It just seems implausible to me, and it makes me just wonder. It's like, look, something like that, violating someone's body like that, needs to have a very high standard to be met before we allow that to happen as a society, right? Now, when someone's been accused, tried, convicted, sentenced to jail or prison, and now we need to make sure they're not pulling, razor blades or files or whatever the hell else up there, as Gail Beelam calls it, the Amsterdam hamstergram. Make sure that's not happening. Okay, we got a security reason. We got a safety reason. They've been convicted of a crime. They do lose some measure of their privacy and personal rights. And they're going into a confinement. Yeah, okay. There we need to search someone. Short of that, though, I don't know why this needs to happen at all. What are you... Okay, so first of all, maybe there's a weapon. I actually Googled this and I found some stories of women who had smuggled smaller handguns, there. Okay. But if you've pulled her over and you think she's got weed on her and you think the gun's still in there, what do you think, she's going to shoot it from there? I mean, I've heard stories of some wicked control by certain members of the sex profession, but that would defy belief, wouldn't it? Aiming and shooting. And yeah, I don't. Yeah. So it's like, how important is it that you catch someone with weed? I really think that, if a woman's got weed on her and she's so afraid of getting caught that she shoves it up there, then that's safe. That's base, right? Oh, dang it, we didn't catch her in time. She shoved it up there. It shouldn't go past that, should it? For weed? That's what you're worried about? You're going to violate someone, give them possible PTSD. This could be a traumatic experience. The next time they see a cop car in traffic, you don't think that's going to, cause their pulse to race. Come on. And to think that I can pull up 4 stories of this and it's had to have happened other times and the women were so traumatized that they just didn't want to speak out about it. They just wanted to put it behind them, to forget about it. What is it that makes these people, these law enforcement officials, and generally the culture and people of Texas and neighboring New Mexico, we had a bunch of stories out there as well, feel the need to be probing people to find out whether they're hiding drugs? Drugs can't be that big of an issue, can't be that important that we're willing to put people through such humiliation, degradation, and assault, fucking rape, because we're so worried about them hiding drugs.
And now, a message from former President George W. Bush to remind the American people of our responsibility in our nation's war on certain American citizens using non-pharmaceutical, non-alcoholic, tobacco-free drugs.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
That's right, America, use less drugs. Put down the Prozac, the Vioxx, and the Levitra, and turn to the herb. Use less drugs. Our national policy is no longer just say no, it's now just slow down.
You get me too high. I overanalyze. If you've ever been too high, then you can sympathize. You get me too high. And I start to fly if I said some silly thing, and that's the reason why.
420 Radio, the world's voice of marijuana legalization. You know Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, we've got Frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs, we've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com. And follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher on Twitter. NORMAL stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks are far less than those posed by legal drugs. Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
All right, that is Rick James Dio with Rainbow in the Super Freak Dark. I'm a big fan of mashups, if you haven't guessed that from listening to me for a while. Love that song. We played that on Herb Thrasher Flower Hour one night. I thought Herb was going to kill me. Rainbow in the Super Freak Dark. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio. Our phone lines are open at 84-420 Radio. And I've got some news for you here from the state of Oregon. The Oregon Liquor Control Commission, which regulates our marijuana, right? Because who do you want to trust with writing the rules and regulations and enforcing them when it comes to marijuana, but people that deal with booze? Because, you know, they're exactly the same and we have absolutely no differences we need to worry about, right? Well, that's a political compromise that had to be made, unfortunately. The people that put together Measure 91 tell me that fighting to have a separate commission to deal with marijuana would have been politically difficult. So we're stuck with the Oregon Liquor Control Commission, who 3 out of 5 of the commissioners admitted in public they voted against legalization. And I believe at least the other 2 probably did as well. And their own personal experience with marijuana is lacking, right? So they have put out a list of the cities and counties that are prohibiting licensed recreational marijuana facilities. Now, the bans that they have so far include Malheur County, Harney County, and Umatilla County and Douglas County. 4 counties so far that have prohibited all 4 types of licensing: producer, processor, wholesaler, retailer. But only one of those counties has to follow the law that we voted on that said they had to put it on the general ballot. Douglas County. Douglas County is in Southern Oregon, and I believe it voted against Measure 91, but not more than 55%. These other counties, Umatilla, Harney, and Malheur County, are in Eastern Oregon. Those counties voted more than 55% against the measure. And thanks to House Bill 3400, they get a special law, special rights that say they don't have to put it on the ballot. So their bans are now. They exist, right? Nothing anybody can do about them except try to put a repeal on the ballot in those counties. There's also some cities, Island City, Nissa, Vail, and Ontario, all in those eastern counties, so they don't have to put their bans on the ballot. Those bans just exist. And by the way, Ontario, Vail, and Nissa, I am very familiar with. They're right on the Idaho border, and I have played music in each one of those cities back in my club days. So very familiar with Ontario, Vail, and Nissa. In fact, Nissa was always known as Nipple Nissa. There's no politically correct way for me to tell this story, but it was Nipple Nissa because in Idaho, there are no strip clubs. There are no, as they say, titty bars. They're bikini bars. I kid you not. Bikinis that women would wear on the beach in California or Florida are put into bikini bars where it's like a strip club, but you're just girls in bikinis. They can't even go down to pasties, folks. They tried that. Pasties won't do it. It has to be bikinis, right? But Nissa, just across the border, is in Oregon. And Oregon has famously lax, well, I shouldn't say lax, has famously strong laws protecting personal expression. In other words, we got strip clubs, and we're talking full nude strip clubs. So Nipple Nissa was always the trip you made when you actually wanted to see strippers in like the buff. So you drove to Nissa. Well, no surprise, Ontario, Vail, Nissa, Island City all have banned, and there will be no public input on that. But also, the city of Sandy and the city of Brownsville have put bans. And Sandy is here in Multnomah County, actually, or is it next door county? But no, I think it's the very edge of Multnomah County. So they're in counties that actually voted for Measure 91, so they have to put it on the ballot. So it's up to the people of Sandy to vote on this in the next election as to whether or not this ban will stand. And what's interesting to me here is not only do I have this record here, but it turns out that there's a form that these cities and counties have to fill out. Love bureaucracy. The Oregon Liquor Control Commission has a marijuana local option opt-out form. This form allows local cities and counties, as opposed to remote cities and counties, to elect out of the recreational marijuana program, prohibiting the establishment of marijuana producers, processors, wholesalers, and or retailers licensed under Section 19, 20, 21, or 22 of Chapter 1 Oregon Laws 2015. So they got this form, and it's a nice little PDF. It's got those little fill-in-the-blank forms, right? The date, your county, your city, contact person, phone, governing body, email, title, check boxes for what you're going to ban, effective date of the ordinance, and then you got to attach the ordinance to it. Right? So it's there, yeah. Okay. That's kind of nice that I guess the cities and counties that want to ban have to do some paperwork. They have to go to a vote of the people or anything. So, yeah, the city council, county commission in 15 counties in this state are allowed, all in Eastern Oregon, all east of the Cascades, could go to online, fill out that form, pass a resolution with just a simple majority of their board, send it in, and that's it. Even though the majority of the people on a statewide initiative said, no, that should take a vote of the people, that right was taken away from 15 counties in this state because, well, it's weed. And because, well, the people in these counties didn't vote that much for it. And, well, these counties aren't ready for that cultural shift. And all sorts of excuses that if you were using this to discriminate against people on their religion, their race, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their ability or disability, would be seen as offensive, just rank bigotry. There's no other way to look at this. An entire state voted and gave the right to opt out of these things, and with the mere request that to do so, there was a vote of the people. It wasn't just a city council or a county commission, but the people were deciding they didn't want this in their cities and counties. And their argument came back to, well, they just voted on whether they wanted it in their cities and counties, and they voted no. No, what we voted on in the statewide election was whether or not Measure 91 would be the law. And they lost that vote. And so the law said that they should go before a vote of the people. And you went and disregarded that law and passed a contrary law. Special rights for Eastern Oregon. Special rights to discriminate against the voting right, the ability to have their voice heard. That's the thing. These guys argue that, well, Malheur County voted 70% against it. There's no way they'd ban anyway, and there's no way that a ban would not pass there, so let's just let them have it banned. Yeah, that's probably true. But what about the 30% in Malheur County who never got their voice heard? Who never got a chance to vote for this, who never got a chance to make their case to a city council or a county commission, they probably spoke in front of city councils and county commissions before, but never got a chance to make their case to the voters that it's a better idea. And saying that people voted against Measure 91 before it passed, and that should determine what happens after it passed, does not take into account that Measure 91 having passed changes the context of the debate. If you're in Ontario, Oregon, and you're saying whether or not there should be pot shops and legal weed and home grows and all of that, and you vote no, after that passes and becomes law, there's not a damn thing Ontario, Oregon can do about people's personal grows and personal possession. Follow me? People in Ontario, Oregon, right there on the border of the Snake River and Idaho, 35 miles away from my hometown and 50 miles away from Boise, and about 250,000 people. The people of Ontario, Oregon will still be able to home grow, and they'll still be able to possess a half pound in their house. You can damn well bet they're going to get a lot of visits from their friends who live back in Caldwell, in Nampa, in Meridian, in Boise. All these people driving west to go to Ontario to visit their friend's house, to hang out, pick up an ounce here or there. All this money that's going to go changing hands in Eastern Oregon without Eastern Oregon benefiting from it a bit. You're going to see an increase in that trafficking that you hate. The fact that weed is legal now might change an Eastern Oregonian's vote to say, hey, well, look, now that it's legal, people can possess it, so why don't we just make some tax revenue by having legal licensed sales outlets? Let's take advantage of some of that Idaho money, just like Vancouver, Washington took advantage of some of that Oregon money. But they'll never get a chance to have that argument because the legislature took it away from them. Well, folks, that's all the time I got. Time flies when you legalize. Thanks for joining us. Catch our replay at 6 o'clock with Chief Greenbud. Exclusive new tracks from Chief Greenbud 4 at chiefgreenbud.com. For everybody here at Rolla J Studios in legal Potland, Oregon, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth.